I don't even know how to do that on my videos.
The intro. Well, we're about to do it now because we're live. So we want to thank y'all for joining us as y'all come in. This is going to be the collaboration with At the Looking Glass Tarot, which is my friend Tammy. We've been friends on here for about 4 years. We just discovered, which was shocking, I think, to us both. It went by so quickly.
It did.
So yeah, for 4 years now. So we've been working together and reading together. So we were going to talk about some of the cases that I know she's been asked about. Hey, Ken's here.
I know. I'm going to bring up my chat because I can't see it on here.
Okay. Yeah. Bring your chat in. Yeah. You can't see it from your side on StreamYard.
No. So I'm going to bring it.
But hi, Tara and Ken. It's good to see you both.
Yay. I'm coming in, y'all.
I know. I haven't seen Ken in a long time.
I know. Ken
her Instagram's doing fantastic, by the way. She has a lot of little cat videos and things like that. So that's really cool. So congratulations on that.
Yes. Man, it feels good to see Ken and
I know
Sarah in here because it feels like the old times.
Old times, right?
Yeah.
That's what we were just talking about. We were saying it's been 4 years since, at least that we know, that we've all kind of met up. So it's kind of cool to see everybody still hanging out. But we put in the title, obviously, we have the Idaho 4 case that I know people are still looking at, obviously, a lot. More comes out every day. At least to my knowledge, there's more coming out every day about different things that happen, searches, things like that. So, and then also the Maya Millete case has had movement in the sense of Larry Millete being charged with murder finally. And then also some of the things that also came out during that we'll talk about. And then obviously too, if people want readings, as we get towards the end of trying about any of that, we can do that too. So if there's anything about cases that y'all want to look into, just let us know. And one of us will read into it, or we can both read into it, or anything like that. So as far as like maybe getting into the Idaho 4, is there anything, again, we kind of talked about that you thought was odd about it, or that you haven't really gotten to talk about too much yet?
Well, I think one of the things that bothers me is the roommate. It's just a weird kind of.
Yeah. And it's more like, Alessa, I think that it feels like the story with the roommate keeps changing.
Right.
And the stuff that comes out that the roommate say that they saw is kind of like, why didn't you call? So again, this is just what we're discussing of thoughts that we have. We're not pointing fingers or saying anything about anything. We're just saying what, we have taken from the information that's given. So, I think it's kind of odd at first. It's like, it was kind of like nobody really heard anything and they kind of just found them. And then it was like later on, well, I kind of might have heard crying, but then, that's it. And then it comes out, well, actually I saw a person and I heard crying. And then I found a body at 12 in the afternoon. I thought they were just unconscious though. So, I mean, it's kind of those things adding up that it would kind of make me, that's a little bit odd to me. Because if you hear crying and you see a person in your house and you find someone unconscious, I kind of feel like that's a lot of red flags, not just a tiny red flag. So, but again, never been in that situation. So I don't know how I would react. Yeah. But I would like to think or hope that I would have called the police when I heard the crying, though, and saw the man in my house. But again, that's just a part that is just a little bit odd to the story because we're only getting little bits and pieces at a time.
I think one of the things that's hard for me is if she had found any one of them, she would have thought that they were more than just unconscious.
Yeah. Well, they were as stabbed as much, if it was as much of a gruesome scene, you would think too there would be blood around, stab wounds, something like that. But again, it's not just that, it's that everything's coming out that way. There was a stalker, then there wasn't a stalker. Now they're saying he was stalking the area. So it was like, no, there's not one. Now there is one again. So they kind of go back and forth a lot. And I'm sure some of it they're trying to keep low, like to themselves so that it doesn't get interfered with the case as it goes to trial. Because I think a lot of cases like Casey Anthony's case got away with it because it was so much was given, because Florida being the sunshine, they tell you everything. So I think if that wasn't so publicized on the media, I would like to think again that she would have been found guilty. But again, we don't know because that's the way it went. Yeah. So,
yeah, I agree. The media has they have to keep stuff. I mean, you know.
I mean, I get that people want to know, and we have a right to know some things, but I don't think you need to know all the gritty details until it gets done. Knowing some of it, yes, that's very fair, but not having to know every single thing. And not, you know, so I think, again, I think that worked against the Kaylee Anthony case, things like that. OJ Simpson. So, and again, if it wasn't publicized, we still don't know, because he was a you know, big football player, things like that. So he probably still would have got away with it, media or not, but just say he didn't, wasn't famous. I don't think he probably would have got away with that.
Right.
Cameras and not being famous. So, and then Tara had said, you know, maybe the roommate was in a vague state, couldn't really remember. And that's what I'm saying. That could be very fair. I just think the crying and seeing a stranger in my house would have been enough to be like, holy crap, I'm calling the cops. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm not, I mean, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't, but I'm more of an on edge person about stuff like that. So again, I'm not 20 something years old having the time of my life. And so I never went away to school. So, and then I do believe too, they said people would come and go from the house. So that could be another reason. Maybe she just thought it was somebody that the people had brought upstairs. So again, just kind of an odd thing that stood out, you know, that they, but again, the way they released it, I think, was the most confusing. Yeah. So
and the fact that he didn't bother her. Maybe
he was worn out by then, you know, didn't want to go down and see who else was there too, because maybe there's 3 or 4 more people down there and it's just me and I don't know. So that could be a good possibility too of why he left them. Yeah. But with them being all 4 murdered, I think, again, when I did my reading, I said that I felt like I did it because I think it was like one of those things where like serial killers are like, well, they did it, like Ted Bundy did it big. This is what they did. So I want to be remembered for how big I did it. You know, that's what it feels like with him. Yeah. And so, and then Ken had said too that she had heard that he had also went into a place where the students worked. He visited a diner or restaurants where the girls worked, or maybe it wasn't the girls, but at least 2 of the students were had worked at this restaurant, and they think that he had visited it. So again, that kind of goes back to stalking a little bit. So like, a lot of people said it wasn't a stalking situation, but I really believe it was. You know,
and the house was a party house. The house was a party house. They had parties all the time. I think he has been in that house.
He probably has. I don't feel like I was completely. I feel like I walked right in. Like I kind of knew where I was. I didn't. I mean, you don't know completely where you're going, but good enough. You know what I mean? So, and again, he had been in that area a lot. And I know we talked about the dog earlier too. I think the dog did have something to do with it. I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm just saying, like I was telling you, I do know that a lot of times people are going to do such a, I don't know if you could use mass murder. I don't know what that would really, but so many people, they'll do things to build themselves up. Right. So I kind of feel like it was that. I mean, I hate to say, you know, I mean, again, just my point of opinion, not, you know, so much that that's what I hear or see. I don't, you know, I just think that was part of his, I don't know, you know, whatever, for whatever night he had it in him to do that. But
I feel like he hid in there at some point too. Maybe he hid and left and came back. But I kind of feel like he was kind of waiting. I feel like they got home. He got there before they did.
Yeah, I think Chris that in the beginning. I was like, I feel like I'm already there. And that's where I kind of ran back in the beginning because we didn't know who the roommates were. Right. So, and there was 2 still alive. So at first I was like, here's the problem with that. I feel like I'm already there. Right. You know, so I said lie in wait, I believe. So even if it was outside waiting, inside waiting, I was already there because it was like within 5 to 10 minutes of them shutting off the lights. Like it didn't take long, you know? So, and that kind of gives me chills. So I'm going to go with that.
Me too. It does.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that because it's all over my body. So I feel like I'm watching. And then when I go through the door, I already know it's unlocked. So it's super, I'm just like, I already know this. I'm going right in. You know what I mean? And again, I already knew I was going to kill quite a few because I wanted it. If I was going to get caught, I wanted it to be for good.
Right. In my
eyes. Because I did it big again. You know what I mean? Like I keep saying did it big. So maybe that's the phrase he thinks of because I don't actually like that phrase.
Right. I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, but it's like it was the shock factor. There you go. Yeah. That's the shock factor he was looking for that makes him feel good. Like people are, it's a shock to kill one person. I did 4. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like. Yeah. He doesn't show any feelings that you see.
And I think the door was unlocked, as in, I believe they had combination locks. But the problem with that is they had a big party, and you can turn that combination lock off to where you can go in and out without having to put the combination in every time.
Yeah. And then someone, I think it was even her sister. If I'm wrong, I'm again wrong. But I thought she said in an interview that they did kind of give the code out like quite a bit because it was a party house, people going in and out. Now I do think he was under the influence of drugs still too. I do think he uses heavy drugs because when I did his reading, I felt like, or you kind of get tastes or things like that. And it wasn't something I would even know what that is, but I just know it was very distinct and it wasn't like an alcohol taste. So I do think that was something also that he does.
Disoriented more.
Yeah. It feels also fueled by it. And not to say he wouldn't have done it with or without it. That's just something else that I just stood out too, that I didn't bring up in the reading. And also like the 2 of Cups in the reading I was showing you or talking to you about with the Tarot de la Nuit card. I said it felt very like that 2 of Cups just relationship. And he was more harsh on the girls, it feels like.
Right.
So I think that he disliked how close of friends he felt they were. And I say quotations because I'm not going to go into, but most of us kind of know. Yeah. I mean, in a lot of pictures, they're literally like,
well,
but for him, it bothered him for some reason. And I feel like, again, I told you, I feel like he had a problem having intimate relationships. I think it was almost impossible for him to do that. And that was frustrating for him. And he's seeing the girls in the bed together. And I think that bothered him, his personality. He didn't like it. So that's why he was more harsh with them, I feel. So I also want to say a really quick hi to Soul Star. This is I think her first time joining us. I don't know if I've ever seen her before. So welcome. And then welcome, Chief.
Oh, yes. Welcome, everybody. I have to look on my phone, excuse me, because I can't see the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Chief and Soul Star. Glad to see y'all. Chief. Oh, Chief's dropping the links. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
I also feel like you do about the girls, and I just didn't really come out and say it in my reading because I just kept getting the Lover's card, which could have went for
loving his friends, but there's an element of super closeness, which is fine. It's completely fine. What I'm saying is that pissed him off.
Yeah.
He can't even get close to nobody like that, so the fact that bothered him and they were pretty. And that's why I think in my reading, I probably should have brought the card over, but in the Tarot de la Nuit or whatever the deck is called, I can't really remember off the top of my head, but the 2 of Cups card, the girls look identical. So it kind of makes me want to grab it now. Cause I'm like, but I mean, that to me, they pulled that particular, cause I haven't used that deck in a long time either.
Was it the Light Seekers deck you were using?
No, I'm going to actually grab it so I can show it to you because my altar is right here. So I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like somebody else was maybe there also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was telling you. I felt that way a little bit too, in the sense of that's why in my reading I said I feel like somebody else knows. And I feel like I said, and I feel like you said too, like they're very outside of, like they're there, but they're not completely engaged. They're a little bit shut off to where they don't feel it, or they're trying not to feel it. So, but what would you said with the person's energy? You were feeling more what about? Or you said you saw the image a bit of them.
Yeah, I did. I feel like they were kind of like there to. Okay, I'm going to say this. I don't like the way I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it because this is what I'm hearing. Yeah. He's the cleanup person.
Okay. So like damage control person.
He's if somebody if it wasn't completed like he wanted it, then he would be there.
Like pick up the slack. Well, that kind of makes sense in the sense of that what he did in school and things like that. He would have been taught to like cover his tracks. And if he didn't do it, then an extra pair of eyes would have been better. So especially if they knew the same thing. But here's the card I was talking about. So the girls look exactly alike. This was the card they gave out. But even though you see them, they even pose in pictures like this.
They do.
Their backs together, their chests together. Again, which is cute. They're cute little pictures. So I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying this reminds me exactly of that. And I think that in the Two of Cups is a partnership, a relationship. And sometimes it leads to a partner relationship, not just a friendship. So I'm saying that I think because they were so close, it gave him this vibe and he didn't like it. So that's why he did that. And I had this, and that's the card I got at the very first card when I started the reading for them.
Because he can't even get a regular relationship going. Yeah. So he would be jealous that anybody could have one that would be different than a normal, what he would consider a normal relationship. So he couldn't get any kind of relationship.
Yeah. And a lot of people who said women that did come forward later and said they talked to him, they said he would say odd things, like it was, or like he would just not, like he just didn't know how to talk to girls. That's what I'm saying. Right. Like, I think no matter how hard he tried, he was always just awkward and he always got turned down. And I think he would say stuff that he thought was like funny or smooth, but it was really just stupid and idiotic or like harsh or, something like that. Oh, pretty kitty. But, so what else with that? Is there kind of anything we can touch on with that kind of thing? Because I know there was a lot of stuff.
Well, I think they put that red Jeep out there. I think it was a red Jeep.
Does anybody know who the red Jeep belonged to? Because I heard white car and red Jeep, and I did say that in my readings too. So I don't know whose car is the red Jeep. Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't hear any. Once they made a big thing of it at the beginning of the case, I did not hear anything else about the red Jeep. From then on, it was the car.
So did they actually ask about the red Jeep in the beginning? Because I didn't start looking into the case till a month after.
I didn't even look into the red Jeep because they were focusing so much on the car.
Yeah.
And then when I did my reading, I didn't really focus on a vehicle at all.
Yeah.
I just focused on what happened, and I really didn't pick up on any type of a vehicle other than a car, but I didn't get a color or anything. So I didn't get a Jeep or SUV, or I got a car.
Yeah. Well, when I looked at the picture of the house, they had in the park in the driveway still, it was like the red Jeep, and then the white car was next to it. So I thought that's what made me target on the white car, because I was like, okay, so it's a white car for sure. I was like, I don't know if it's that car. I was like, but it's a white car. I was like, but the red Jeep stood out too. So I don't know if it's because it was sitting right next to the white car, but for me, just the red Jeep still stood out. I never knew. I still don't know if they ever found anything within that red Jeep or if it even mattered. I just know that for some reason it was like this one too kind of thing, but like not as heavy. So I don't know. That's why I was curious who it belonged to, if they ever found anything in it.
I think the media might have went, I'm sorry. I think the media might have went just a little bit with the red Jeep maybe, and just kind of made it more than it was. And it kind of threw people in the direction of the red Jeep, but it ended up, I don't think the Jeep had really anything to do with any of it.
Yeah.
If it did, I didn't hear.
Yeah. Like I said, I just saw the white car and I just don't know if I was pulling it because it was so close, and so it just stood out, but I don't know. And then trying to think of anything else on that one we can touch on. Let me see if anybody else has anything. And bye, Tara. Y'all have fun. And I'll see you tomorrow. She's going to come pick up some oil and stuff from the store.
Oh, bye.
So.
Love you. Be good. Have fun.
I love you too. Kit's like, I love you too. Look at me. Cute little kitty. So let's see.
I know you do, but
he said the date he went on.
No, ma'am.
Oh, see, so Soul Star said that Brian, whatever his last name is,
I know,
Culp or something, Colbert, some crap like that. But she said that his girl said when they went on a date that she had good childbearing hips. So that's what I was saying when he says dumb stuff. I'm like, that's just awkward and weird, and nobody really says stuff like that, so.
I don't even know husbands that say that to me.
That out, because that's what the kind of thing I was looking for. But
so I don't even know husbands that say that to their wives. stranger.
Yeah, right. I married you because of your childbearing hips. Just kidding.
Wow.
But it's like 1950s, you know,
Right.
poster Evan at our marriage. Yeah,
That's one of the prerequisites for marrying me. Let me check out
Mhm.
your hips. Oh,
Exactly.
Lord.
So as far as with this case, I mean, I think most of us feel like, yeah, he will be convicted because I do think they said DNA, right, matched. Okay.
Yeah, I think they matched him with family DNA. So
Yeah, I think it
um,
was family because they said it would have to be like a related person to the dad or mom or something like that. It
right.
was the kid, so they related it to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I mean, so far we're still looking at probably yes, he will be, convicted.
Yeah.
But of course, things can change because we do know what Barry Morphew supposedly got off, right?
Oh my gosh.
Is that
is
just done? He's just off?
I don't know if he's going back to
He
court
was
again
never
or not.
charged, right? Was he charged?
He's been to court like they've changed his judge like 3 times. He's had they keep changing his judge, the lawyers. I don't even know. The case has been so crazy. I haven't followed it lately. But the last time I heard was they were changing the judge again. And
Yeah. Because I mean, even if they let him off, if they were to charge him again, that's not double jeopardy, I don't think. Because they didn't never do anything. They never
I
let
don't
him
think
off.
I don't think he's ever been officially charged with murder yet, has he?
I don't think he has. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they would be able to still do it again, I think, if they were to find something later.
Yeah.
But we'll just kind of see, too, where that leads to with that. They have since taken. Okay, so they took Brian's DNA since he's been arrested, which makes sense.
Yep.
They should have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you, Ken, for that.
Yep.
And then with the Maya Millete case, so now we know Larry Millete is charged with murder.
Right.
So again, I do think he will be found guilty because he did so many, again, odd things. I just read today where he had the tape, or it wasn't a tape recorder. I think it was a phone underneath her bed, and it played like subliminal messages. And then I think when they found the phone, I want to say the sister-in-law or somebody asked like what it was, like why was he doing that? And he was saying like it had said things like love me, care about me, like want to be with me, like that kind of stuff, like trying to brainwash her into like subliminally into like being a good wife and being with them. And then at some point too, we heard that like he did a blood shrine, I believe. So there was a lot of things Larry Millete did that was obviously off. So I think that's going to lead to like his conviction too.
His energy is so bad. When I did that reading, I was like, man, he is such a controlling. It's like he didn't want her to go anywhere and do anything, and he didn't like her to have friends, and he didn't want her to. I mean, his energy was so bad.
Yeah.
When I did
that's
that
the thing. It's like I don't feel like he even realizes how bad or off it is, and like how obvious it is. Like because he would call, like I said, I saw where it said like the year before she went missing, like he was calling the family and like begging them to talk to her to not leave him. So I think that's a little bit out there too. Like who connects with the other side of their family? Like I don't know. I just wouldn't. If I'm having problems with my partner, I don't think I'm going to go to his family and beg them to convince them to be with me. Like, you know what I mean? And I think like that would obviously, and it did. Like a lot of her family said how it kind of disturbed them, and they kind of were like, "This." Yeah. But
yeah, it would disturb me too.
Okay. Sorry, Ken said so. I'll look at the video, Ken, to see about the orb.
Yeah.
Subject, and then there was one other thing she said. Oh, thank you. She said our hair looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And then, okay, and so she said that he, as far as Barry Morphew, he can be charged again once more.
Good.
If information more comes out. So yes, he can be still charged again for murder. So
that's Suzanne would seal it, but
yeah, I don't know. No, I kind of feel like they're gonna drag their feet with that though, because they have been so long and they already did that.
Yeah. Well, they let him get away with so much. I mean, for so long, they just let him just.
Well, kind of like you were saying about Larry Millete too. Like it took them a long, and it was a lot of evidence that was like it was kind of all weird and from the go, and it kind of thinks that they set off red flags about a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
But as far as that, I don't know much more about the Millete case other than Obviously she went missing whenever. I do think they said on the security camera, though, did they say, I want to say that one point a security camera from the neighbors said they thought they heard gunshots on it around the time she went missing. So I know that had came out in the beginning, but I don't know if they ever confirmed it for sure, if that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I just know it was supposed to be like recorded or something, and they could hear it on like an outdoor camera or something like that in the neighborhood. But I don't remember it completely, all the details to it.
And in my reading, I actually said this because it was so weird, and I still 100% absolutely believe this. He put her where he knows where she would be at. Like, when I say that, like, yes, he will know where he put her because he will just know because he put her there. But I say that because he put her near a structure, like where she can't be, where she won't move or she won't be washed away or something. She's stable where she's at, so he can keep an eye on her. So,
I mean, it kind of makes sense. He's weird. It seems like he would do that.
Yeah, so he knows where she's at. He can keep an eye on her, and he knows that nobody has found her. So he always knows where she's at. Because sometimes when they murder someone, they'll put them in areas, and the area may change. The surroundings may change.
Kind of like the Vallows did.
Yeah, so you may not ever. You may go to that spot and they not be there because the environment has changed.
Yeah,
but he has her where that won't happen. Is what I feel.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So I mean that makes sense. I haven't actually, interestingly enough, I haven't really tapped in to see maybe where she'd be at this point. So I'd have to maybe do like a reading on. I haven't done a reading on that in a while, maybe like 2 years now. So
yeah.
And then you were saying Summer Wells. Has anything changed with that? I haven't heard nothing about that.
The last reading I did was that we see them as not doing anything. I think I just feel like they're just.
Do you think that they're going to get arrested eventually?
I think eventually. I think if there's a few things keeping it from happening within the system.
What do you think that is?
I kind of think like the law enforcement kind of knows what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I got that feel from the very beginning. They kind of knew.
Yeah.
They're not the brightest people. Like, you're going to tell me they ran game on the cops and the cops were like, you know what? That makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if that's true, you're all a bunch of dumb, ignorant. Like, you need to be doing nothing. All need to quit and just go somewhere. Oh, thank you, Ken. Ken sent a super sticker for us.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't understand how they've like split under the radar this long, because they're not the most smart. They're not the smartest people, not the most smartest.
No. I think there's people in places that are kind of, I'm trying to say it without saying it, that are kind of blocking pieces of the case that could help the case.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was moved a couple of times. I do feel that.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's kind of like in an old steel mill.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels cold, whatever it was. Like, I know when I was happening, I felt like I remember probably people were given like a drain type thing, and I'm like, well, if that's a possibility, I guess. I was like, but it is very much. I don't feel like I can move much. Like, it's whether I got walls around me or cement around me or something like that. But it's also not just cement either. It's kind of run down.
It's kind of like
a mixture of like dirt, cement, things like that, grass even in some areas. As I said, it's odd because you would think like it was like an old drainage pipe somewhere, maybe like that's been busted open and they just shoved in it type thing. But then it's like, but no, it's not really that either.
No, it's like down in the ground.
Yeah, it's down. Yeah.
So it's like in the hills and the mountains, and even here in Louisiana, they'll build like steel mill moonshiners. They'll cut out these holes in the ground. They'll line them with cement or plastic or whatever. And then they'll stick their steel mills down in them for the winter time. They'll cover it up foliage, vegetation, a board, that kind of stuff, where nobody knows it's there. Otherwise, they got to drag that stuff out because they don't want the game wardens finding their crap.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a hole in the ground that they put their equipment in, and then they bring it back out in the spring and the summer to make their moonshine. That's what I feel like she's in. Something like that.
But that sounds like, the way you describe it sounds the most like, because I don't know how to describe it. So that's what I'm saying. So the way you described it sounds better than what I'm doing. So that's what I'm saying. It sounds more connected. And don't worry about it, Ken. That's fine. What? We appreciate anything.
Absolutely.
Love you. Yeah. But she also said, too, about Barrymore for you, Ken did. She said there was not enough evidence to take him through the court. So it was dismissed. Yeah. Actually, I can click on this. I don't know why I don't do that. I forget. Here it goes. Through the court. So it was dismissed until they get more evidence. He is not off the hook. So I kind of, I'm going to lean that way with Ken. I can't imagine being completely off the hook. So I would rather them let him go if they don't have enough and then charge him when they do have enough. That's why I think the Idaho 4 case got a lot of crap about how they weren't sharing stuff, but I think they already knew kind of the situation, so there was no point to share anything. And again, like I would say back, like I said in the beginning, a lot of the cases where you found out a lot of stuff soon got messed up somehow, or too publicized, or it was too whatever, which I do think, yes, of course, we have the right to know all that crap. I'm not saying that we have the right to know, but I'm saying some of the little tiny details I do think sometimes need to be kept to the side. If it can cause any kind of question or controversy or any acquittals, you don't want that to happen.
And then even after, like, just say, not that we're going to talk about this case, but the Watts case, there's stuff we still don't know.
Yeah.
And probably won't know.
There's a lot of stuff we don't know about the Watts, and we're never going to know. And that's why everybody's obsessed with it. Like, upset. I mean, there's channels that are literally, I'm not going to say their name because I'm not going to do that. But their channel's obsession. I mean, and I'm just saying, like, it's always going and going and going. I was actually rewatching it again just a couple of weeks ago, probably like a few days ago, because every now and then you do, like, all this stuff comes out and you're kind of curious. You're like, wow, that's interesting, and then you do wonder, like, what's all sealed, and I don't think they'll ever unseal it.
No.
But the autopsies, I think, have a lot of stuff in it that we would be shocked about, and just other stuff, whatever Kessinger's records were. I don't see how this girl was able to delete her whole phone history.
I don't either.
Didn't say nothing about that. And then I heard her dad was in the interrogation.
He was.
And he was like they were letting him speak for her kind of thing. But then they told Nicole Atkinson's son he couldn't do that, or she couldn't do that for him. And he was a minor, I want to say. Yeah. So I was surprised by that. That's what I'm saying. There's things that come out now that I'm like, no shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, there was a video where they actually, they didn't show the video. They showed the voice. You could hear the conversation. And he told them when the detective, I can't remember the detective's name, the one that seemed to be all in Nicole K's space because he was so nice to her. Her dad was in there with him, and he told him, you need to stop that line of questioning right now. We're not answering.
Yeah. And she's a grown woman.
Yeah.
Why was that allowed?
It shouldn't have been.
If Nicole Atkinson couldn't talk for her son or say anything for her son, then why was a 30-year-old woman allowed to have their dad come in?
I think Nicole.
Is he a lawyer? Is he even able to say that? Is he a lawyer too?
No.
Yeah. So isn't that what a lawyer does?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
and Nicole Atkinson's son, wasn't he under 18?
I believe he was. I think he was 17.
Yeah. So
which I think in some places they try to that's close enough now. You know what I mean? But still, it's not. Not in a case like that, I don't think.
No.
So I know here I would be like, you ain't talking to my kid without my permission. Exactly. I'm in Texas and that ain't happening. You know what I mean? So and they're strict, like super strict about everything.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just, and it's, we don't need to know everything, but we're a society that wants to know everything.
I think now that he's in jail, we should be allowed to know more.
Now, yes. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. During the case, though, and them trying to get him into jail, I can see why they didn't say everything. But after it's done, I don't see why you can't know.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
What's really in there? What's in all of that stuff would be really interesting.
So my thing is, if you don't want to release everything that happened, like in the Watts case, if there's no one else going to be tried, if there's no one else you're looking at, if the case is officially closed, then you should release that information. Why does it matter what's in it now?
Because they're hiding it for whoever the information is covering their ass.
Exactly.
And whose ass has to be covered that's left.
Yep.
I know we're not supposed to say it, but I'm going to say it. Nicole Kessinger's ass needs to be covered. So, and then they asked him too, like, and he said, I never went in the basement. I didn't do anything in the basement, but the doors were opening in and out the basement.
Somebody was in
there that morning.
Yeah.
And then he said, I didn't have it. It was like somebody else was holding my hands, choking her.
Yes.
I don't care. I'm going to say it.
It was. Yeah.
Let her dad tell me to be quiet.
Exactly. Yeah. And she wasn't in there by herself, and Chris wasn't in there either by himself. She had a friend. I mean,
I would think whether you're overwhelmed or not, you showing them all your apples.
I see him.
Hi, YouTube. You want to say hi real quick and then go play with Daddy?
Yeah.
Just say hi.
Hi.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Introduce yourself.
Say, what's your name?
My name is Connor.
Okay. Thank you, Connor, for joining us.
I drink apple.
You drink apple juice? Okay. Let's go play with Daddy.
That's a lot compared to what he showed me earlier. He's been busy.
Oh, yeah. Well, when they sent him, because he's going to start a different school on Monday, they sent him all of his stuff. So, like, he loves apple stuff. So his teacher, like, printed out all these apple pictures. He has them all lined up, you know. And then he loves her phone, so she Xeroxed her phone, like the Apple phone, the back of the phone.
Oh yeah,
and they have like all these Connor name tags too. There's like 7 of them. He's like, look, there's 7 Connors in here. So, yeah, so he'll be starting for because I told you, he was recently diagnosed with high functioning autism. My oldest son has mild autism, so now we're going to be going to a new school and getting him, the help and stuff there that he needs. So
good.
He's excited. He's excited. So everybody's happy. We were worried a bit at first that he wasn't going to integrate well, but as soon as we picked him up from school yesterday, he goes, I'm going to a new school. So I'm like, yeah, you are. I'm glad
that's the biggest thing right there. If he's excited, everything else seems to.
Yes. And Ken also has high functioning autism. So maybe I'll have to get some advice from you and help in the future, just like, if you don't mind, because it's totally different than Andrew's. So it is a whole different thing. I think most people think if you have it, it's kind of like, oh, no, it's totally different. My oldest son is totally different than my youngest son's. So that's what I think took us a little bit longer too, to kind of be able to, because like with Andrew, they did his evaluation. We knew right away. With Connor, it was a couple evaluations. And then we were kind of like, oh, okay. So we know now that we know, just like his older brother, we just have to have a different plan a little bit.
Right.
So he'll be good. He's good though. He's like I said, he's handling it really well. So
yeah.
Yes. Connor looks like his handsome father. That's what she said. Sweet little Connor looks just like his handsome father.
Oh, he does look like his handsome father. He does. Let me turn this off because they'll be.
Yeah.
Lordy.
We're trying to think of any other cases we haven't really done or talked about or was. Oh, you said the Anna. Was her name Walsh?
The Anna Walsh. Yeah, I did the video on that. She went missing January 1st, 2023.
And now you said at bedtime? Is that what it like just like a brief breakdown of what happened? Because again, for everybody and stuff. So it was January 1st at 4 a.m., right?
Yeah, she was supposed to take a share ride, which on January 1st I thought was odd because most people aren't working New Year's Day.
And it was supposed to be from her house?
Yeah, she was supposed to, it was like a share ride to the airport. So I guess she was sharing a ride with to the airport. They split the expense. I guess she was supposed to be flying somewhere. That's all the article had said when I originally read it. And he said that he was asleep, but she left at 4 a.m. And I'm like, okay.
But did they ever say where she was supposed to be going?
He just said to the airport I thought it said, let me look at my book, Washington, I think.
Okay. And thank
But
you, Jen. I appreciate that.
she was a she worked for like, I think she worked for like a realty company. She was like a property manager. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really sure why she would be flying anywhere,
Yeah.
but that's what he said. That was the original. She's from Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Say that.
Massachusetts.
There you go. Let's see. Yeah, she took a share ride to the airport to Washington D.C. So I guess she was going to Logan Airport for a plane ride. He didn't say where she was going. That's all he said. But he said she left at 4 a.m, but he was asleep. And I was like, all right, then. How do you know
Yeah.
she left at 4 if you were asleep? But then he was arrested. Her employer is the one that reported her missing on January 4th.
Yeah. And then can you see the thing on the screen, what Ken wrote? Or I don't know if you can see it from your side.
He Googled a dozen or more times how to get rid of a body. What? What doesn't?
Can you throw out body for throw them out where? I'm going to just throw these out in the trash and hopefully nobody will question me.
Oh my
What can you do
goodness.
to a body? He was Jeffrey Dahmer in it. He was like, I'm going to hack him up and throw him in some acid.
Yeah. And
Or
see, I
ammonia.
was like, and then after I did the reading, I'm like, there's no way she was going for her job because her
Yeah.
employer would know where she was going if she was going for her job.
On his iPad, the police have all the searches. The guy never watched any crime episodes in his life.
That's probably
Well, that's showing at this point, right?
Well, that's good. He's a dummy.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if he Googled that. Like, how the hell don't you know by now they're going to have your history of anything you do? How long does it take for a body to decompose? What does baking powder do to a body?
Yeah, that
I know it's supposed to get your teeth white, but I don't know what it does to a body.
No, yeah, none of that is suspicious whatsoever.
So he did it on his son's iPad. So I guess that was the genius part. My son did it, not me.
Yeah, and they were little, from my understanding.
That's
They're
crazy.
little, like.
But still, to be stupid enough too to think they ain't gonna look at your kids' stuff either.
Well, yeah, they're going to, yeah. And then it said he was arrested for misleading the law enforcement in the investigation. So that's why he was originally arrested, because he misled the investigation.
That reminds me too. Like, I know we're just jumping from one to the other. I was supposed to do Harmony Montgomery's case. And when it happened, I had some stuff happening where I was going to do it for a channel that shows up sometimes on my page, you know, and they kind of will do kind of readings together. Or not readings together. They're a crime channel. So
right.
That Truth for Realities channel. So he's a crime channel, documentary channel. So sometimes I'll do cases with him, but I had a lot going on at that time where I was switching jobs and doing all kinds of stuff. So, but I saw where they recently arrested, finally, the dad, which again, I was kind of surprised it took so long, but like you said, you want to make sure you got all the evidence before you do it. So something like the Morphew thing, like Ken said, doesn't happen, you know, because they didn't have whoever put the thing out for Morphew's arrest in the first place shouldn't have, because there wasn't enough information. So now with Adam, I believe they have enough information now. So have you done the Harmony Montgomery case at all?
I have not.
Okay. So when I started tapping into now, I don't know if anybody knows the area. I could never find a map of the area. So when I looked at it, I kept getting like a bridge and water. So I don't feel like it's all exclusive to the bridge. I feel like there's more than one dump site, but I feel like the bridge has a big reason in this for some reason. It's like it's not like how, because where I live, right, we have a causeway, so the bridge goes way up high. It's not like that. It goes over the water flat. It never like extends up or goes down or anything like that. But it almost is kind of like a New York kind of look view. You know, like if you see the water and you see these nice bridges all lit up and then you see the lighting. And I know that's not where they're at, but I'm saying it kind of looks like that. You know what I mean? With the flat bridge. So I don't know if that's an area around that they haven't looked at or they could, but it feels like it's such a mass body of water. You're probably not going to find anything anyways. You know what I mean? So, but also, again, I don't feel like that's the only place things are at. I think, again, her body was moved. So I don't know, again, the whole things around it, because I was never able to completely, there's not a lot of information about it.
There isn't.
It's very patchy. It makes no sense. And now I can't remember exactly when they said they thought she went missing, but I know it was like by December or something. I think she was already gone, I believe. I think it was like end of November, early December, but I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look at the time frames and see what I wrote down. I just know it was kind of like around that time or something. It feels like when things shifted, because you almost see like Christmas stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And hi, Ronnie. That's fine. We're still just talking, and welcome.
Hey, Ronnie. Good to see you.
Let me see. I commented on throwing away body parts. I said he had to wait until recycle day. Let me see.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
That's kind of like the Madalena Kojakari case. They just like didn't even report her missing at all. The school, they reported her missing to the school on December 15th, and she went missing in November. Then the school reported her missing to law enforcement.
Yeah. I haven't heard of that one yet. I'd have to look at it. I know that I keep getting an alert on my phone about some girl. I don't know if she's in my area, because someone on YouTube had posted it, but it's like an Amber Alert. So it's usually in our area. It's not, I don't know. Are they national, the Amber Alerts right away, or is it just your area?
Sometimes I get Texas and I get Arkansas.
Yeah, I just kept getting this one like back to back to back to back. Like it was like to where it stood out, and I screenshotted it. So I might do a reading on it, depending on. I don't know what's come out yet, what's not come out. I have to look for the name real quick. But she's 9 years old, I believe.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, it kept coming up so much, I screenshotted it. So
yeah, I do that.
Jennifer Burns. Her name's Jennifer Burns, but she's also like 9 years old, a young girl. So I was going to look into that. Maybe I was just saying that's the one I've heard of lately, but maybe we'll exchange it. Maybe we both read it, exchange it, see what we get. But Ken was saying, you know, how they dropped the ball with Harmony. And yeah, I believe so. I mean, I know they had said that he had said, or at least the ex-wife, I don't know if they're still married, whatever, they got arrested together. I believe her name was Kayla. I believe it was supposed to be his wife, but they said that, you know, or even it was I don't know if it was a cousin or a brother to him, but they said that they saw Harmony's eye black. And that I don't know if he admitted that he punched her but somebody admitted it in like a way, you know. So again, yeah, they had plenty of time to save her. And that's the thing about CPS. They kind of don't focus on the things that they should focus the most on. They pick at stuff that's a little bit more low scale. Like Gabriel Fernandez. That was plenty of stuff that they could have taken that baby away. You know what I mean? So that's super sad, obviously, because they had plenty of time. And then some of the videos you watch where they came and were like trying to find him and all that kind of stuff, they didn't try. I've seen people come out in those kind of situations and they're harsh about a lot less. Mm-hmm. This girl was laughing in their face, basically like, I don't know the number up there. I don't know where kind of like you're bothering me. But nobody had seen this kid for months. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like, but they were letting her do it. Where I know other people who, you know, have had a lot less happen. And it's like, they're begging, like, you know, to get some communication or leniency. I don't know. I feel like sometimes they just pick at the wrong shit.
Right. They do. I agree. Yeah.
You have enough information. Why are these people getting away with crap like that? And then someone gets away with nothing in another way. You know, not get away with it. That's not the right word I'm trying to.
Right. Either. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like focus on the shit that matters. You know what I mean? Like if you got some kids in the system that have black eyes and things like that, why are y'all giving them back to the parents over nothing? I don't get that.
Exactly.
So let me see.
I mean, I'm sure they're overwhelmed with some stuff, but I mean, there's got to be obvious stuff that sticks out that they should be taking care of first.
That's what I'm saying. If a kid has a black eye or there's any which there was, I mean, there was tons of stuff. Like she should have been taken from him a long time ago. I don't understand why it didn't happen. That's what I'm saying. I've seen kids taken for less.
Wasn't he?
Way less.
Didn't the mom have custody and they took her from?
Yeah, because that's what she said. You know, she was trying to get clean, and that's why I feel, you know, horrible for her because you know she was trying. She was trying,
right.
And, you know, but that's the problem. You know, it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really get too deep into that because I almost feel like it connects to politics in a way. I don't know if it does or doesn't, but I feel like it's one of those things that are super. I just feel like I've seen things for a lot less, cause bigger problems. And then look at things like Harmony, Gabriel, even the Valos. Like, how did they never have CPS called on them? Yeah. I mean, she literally was telling people she was like a prophet or some crap like that, or you know what I mean? So that alone says you're crazy. But let's see if anybody has. So yeah, so the uncle reported about Harmony's eye, and the family blocked him on social media. Okay, so that's, you know, again, somebody tried, but that's where they should listen, right? It's an uncle, so that's you know, a brother or sister to the parent,
right?
And then let's see, because the visit probably arranged with parents stated all 3 children was healthy. Okay, so another thing, arranged visits. They're showing up and you know they're coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So you got plenty of time to prep them, prep yourself, do all that kind of stuff. And again, seen plenty of cases where you don't get any warning, which is fine. That's how it should be. You shouldn't get any warning. Why did they get warning after a black eye? They should have no warning. They should even have the kid. So, and then they were doing fraud through it too. So I don't know, just all around trash, to be honest. And then that girlfriend he had for a while, remember, she was found dead. Now they said it had nothing to do with him in the case. But Adam had a girlfriend after all this happened, and they found her dead. I believe it was in a car or maybe a hotel. I think it was a car though. Ken probably knows because she knows most of those kind of details. If she doesn't, that's cool too. But I believe they found her dead in a car, or they were living in a car together. So I don't know where they found her dead. It don't really matter, but they're basically saying she overdosed. But she was asked, you know, what she knew. Of course, she said nothing, and then all of a sudden she's dead.
Yeah.
And I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but just weird. You know, Harvey's gone, his girlfriend overdoses, like. And
they probably won't even look into that of his girlfriend.
No, they said right away that it was an accidental thing. It was just drugs, and that's it. And that's usually what happens. If they think they're drug addicts, they're just like, oh, they overdosed. We can tell everybody that, and that's the end, you know. So they did not know it was the uncle. Oh, it was anonymous. Okay, so they didn't know it was the uncle. So he did not stay, which makes sense. Even though I've known people too, again, and they'll say it's anonymous, they'll tell you who it was.
Oh,
the police will tell you who it is. Yeah. Most of the time. Now, the CPS ain't supposed to tell you, but the police will.
Yeah.
I know that. So if you ever want to know, ask your local police department.
That's right. Because it defers you away from them, and now you got another area to go.
Well, you know why it's happening at that point, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She saw the arrest. He was stopped first, asked questions, and later that day he was arrested. Okay, so they were living in a car. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to look her name. Oh, I could probably look it up right now. I mean, we're not in a super huge rush. Unless are you on a time frame, Tam?
Nope.
No? Okay. So let me see who. I'm just going to look up Adam Montgomery's girlfriend real quick, just so I can get her name. But I just know she was found in a car, or found dead, and they said it was from an overdose. Okay, Adam Montgomery. And I would have had this in advance, but I didn't know we were gonna.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Kelsey Small was her name. So her name was Kelsey Small. Let me see. Article's pulling up. So girlfriend of Adam Montgomery found dead. She told cops she never knew anything about Harmony. So that was the father's girlfriend. She was 27 when she died. Police found the homeless couple sleeping in a car December 31st of 2021 in the early search for Harmony. And that's when she said she didn't know anything. This is her.
Oh.
So she's a very pretty girl.
Yeah.
She said she didn't know anything, and they found her dead, and they said it was an overdose that had nothing to do with the other. So, and then Caleb Montgomery is his wife. Or was his wife. I don't know if they're still married or not. She got arrested too for I think Medicaid fraud or something like that. I think it was Medicaid fraud. So let me see. She was in the car when he was arrested. So if he was in custody from them, it could have not been him. Yeah. I don't know if that was the same time that she ended up overdosing or not. I don't know if he was in jail, like Ken saying, when he died or if it was after it. I didn't see in the article so much say a date of her death and when he was arrested. So yeah, if Ken's saying, if he had just got arrested and then she died, obviously it had nothing to do with them. But I don't know if it was in that same time frame for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was stopped. Okay. And then I guess
I haven't done a reading on Athena.
Athena who?
What's Athena's last name? The little girls, they were 5 and 4. I don't know why I keep what is her last name? Broomfield?
How old is that case?
It just like within a couple of months.
Brownfield, is that it?
I think it's Brownfield.
Hey, Mama.
Or Broomfield or Brownfield. Her first name is Athena, and her
Athena Brownfield's caretaker appeared to post eerie Instagram photos after the toddler's suspected disappearance or death?
They have found
her. Yeah, suspected murder.
Yeah.
Caretaker of a missing 4-year-old girl who is believed to be dead appeared to post photos and inspirational messages to her account after her disappearance.
Yes.
So this was January 10th. She's 5.
Yeah. I did a reading, but I have not recorded one because I do a couple of mini reads just to connect with the.
Yeah.
That's just how I do it.
Yeah, I agree. I do a dry run to see if I can, because not every case you're going to connect to well. Not all the time. Some, like there was a couple cases where there was always a kind of funny energy block and some stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I feel like it's really odd for me that the 5-year-old was found wandering around by herself.
I just saw that. It says wandering around Cyril, Oklahoma, I think is how you pronounce it. 2 p.m. They found her wandering.
Yeah. And she said that they left her. So I just find it odd that I don't know. There's a reason she was left there to wander around.
Yeah, it says between Christmas and Alyssa's arrest on January 12th, she posted multiple photos of herself, inspirational quotes to her account, despite confessing to police that, is it Ivan or Yvonne, beat the toddler. I don't know. It says they admitted they beat the toddler to death on December 25th. So Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So that's in the affidavit.
Yeah.
The quote is, when you start to love yourself, everything else will follow into place. Right after she did that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is odd.
Yeah.
Creepy.
It is creepy.
So, yeah, that's what I hadn't heard of. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
She looks crazy, though.
She does.
Yeah. And mean. She looks mean and crazy.
Yeah, she does look mean, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And that's not.
Oh, okay. So this is the other dude. This is the Ivan or whatever. That's the one that said what happened.
Yeah, they were the guardians of them too. They weren't even the parents.
You know how they became the guardians?
From my understanding, the mom was having trouble. She's trying to get straight in her. I don't know if she had a drug problem or not, but I know she was trying to get straight with her job and her life so she could take care of them. So she asked them to be their guardians until she could do that. So
kind of like the Harvey Montgomery in the way that the caretaker was trying to get better, or the original custodial person is trying to get better, and the caretakers end up doing something. Okay,
right.
But yeah, so that kind of goes hand in hand with that one.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any other ones right now off the top of my head. Can you think of anything interesting that we haven't talked about too much, or anything cases that are just like stuck in your head?
Not the I mean, the Idaho always sticks in my head because we just don't know what's going on with it. That kind of, I mean, we know, but it's like,
well, they changed it a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's like this. No, like yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Oh yeah. By the way, this kind of connects to that. So I mean, they do that a lot. Yeah. In that case. But again, I feel like they're not used to. Well, they said they hadn't had murders at all, pretty much around there, so they don't know that much of what they're doing. Which I think, with again them keeping most of that information, is helping them in the long run.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited to have it released when it's time, like all of it, you know.
Right.
I mean, because they're releasing a good amount.
They are. Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, well, their Valos are getting ready. I think, are they getting ready or is?
Oh gosh, that is such a circus.
Yeah. Well, I know that now she was saying that she did do it. I thought now.
That's what I heard.
So that's interesting pretty much because for the longest it was kind of not that. And so now she's, from my knowledge, kind of admitting. But then she is asking to talk to Chad Daybell with no witnesses or no people around.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So she can forget that.
They said they let him do it a while back, which I'm actually surprised. I thought you weren't supposed to do that.
I didn't even know they let him do it. That's weird.
I heard they did. Now, if it was wrong, I probably heard it wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said that last time it happened was like almost in the beginning.
Oh.
Okay. And I want to say a lawyer was present, but I'm pretty sure they were already arrested by then. I'm pretty sure. So, and then Connor said hi to Grandma. Okay. So I guess if, there's whoever's here, if we're kind of just wrapping up cases that we've been talking about, if there's cases that y'all are interested in that y'all want to bring up, and y'all can go ahead and do that. If you want to, do you feel like doing mini reads? If anybody wants a mini read, and so we have about 12 people in the room. So again, if y'all have cases y'all are interested in, we can read into those cases too, if you want to do that as well. If there's any questions we haven't touched on or anything like that, and if not, we're more than happy to do like a mini read for anybody. So Ken called them the dumbbells.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they
it's
are.
the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I heard too. And and again, I can't see why they would let him at this point.
Yeah.
So there's really it would all just to make a story.
I have to touch on this case because we used to talk about it. And I know there's not a lot about it going on now. We know most everything. But old Teabag, she was up to her. She complained about the toilet paper and something else.
I haven't heard anything about Teabag in a while.
She refused to go to one of the court dates because of the toilet paper.
Was that recent?
This was like 2 or 3 court appearances ago, because she keeps going and they keep saying
I haven't heard much about. The last one I heard, she was talking about representing herself, and that was years ago.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she hasn't gone to trial when I think about it now.
She keeps complaining about the food and that they're not feeding her properly, and then it was the toilet paper. She just didn't like the toilet paper that she was being issued, and
rough.
Yeah. What is it? Listen to you judge, but my ass is raw.
Right.
I can't sit down with this.
I was like, "Are you serious?" So I think she's just about exhausted all of her dumb. I can't say it on here. Effery.
Oh, you can say it. You're good.
It's only
saying it makes it more fun, to be honest.
I think she's about exhausted all of her craziness that she can. But that was the latest thing I heard was she was complaining about the toilet. It was the toilet paper and something else. I can't remember what it was. And I'm like,
there you go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
So Ken wants to do a mini read, so we'll do a mini read for Ken. And then Ronnie was asking, have you heard of any, or have we done any? I haven't heard of it though. Alex Murdaugh.
Yes,
I'm guessing a guy. Is that a guy?
Yes, he is like they were from Georgia. I'm pretty sure it's Georgia, and they owned that little. When I say owned it, it was the Southern good old boys. My dad's a lawyer. My dad's a
law firm type thing.
Judge, yeah. And they had people in all these, like the great grandfather, the grandfather. I don't know how many greats it goes back, but it's like
too many.
Yeah. And they kind of ruled. They kind of ruled this town. Like they got away with stuff, and he killed his. Well, he said he didn't do it. His wife and one of his sons was at one of their vacation homes, farms or something, and they were murdered. He said he didn't do it.
So
now he's in jail for it.
I just saw actually an article that was released 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
At least skimmed through it real quick.
Yeah.
Insiders reveal what to expect. The Alice Murdaugh murder trial. So it's long
He's
awaited.
got a bad energy too. He's got a bad
South
energy.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old boys, huh? 54. Will he be? He won't be acquitted.
Sure. I don't think he'll be.
I don't think he would be. Well, of course, it's going to give you both options in the article, but I don't think he'll be acquitted. If it's all that.
Yeah.
But then again, who knows? If he's running the whole fucking town, you're going to be screwed.
Well, his maid fell down the stairs.
After this?
Before this.
And died?
Yeah.
He was probably sleeping with her.
She fell down the stairs.
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Ken, write your question, please, love. And we'll do your question.
And they just said she tripped and fell. Her family doesn't.
That was it. That reminds me of Queen Elizabeth. Remember when she was the last one that was Anne Boleyn's daughter, and she was sleeping with this chick's husband, and then she just tripped and fell down the stairs. It was the most mysterious death in like the 1800s. It's like, you know, she pushed her down the stairs. Just
she did. Yeah. Just gave
that ain't no mystery.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the queen. And also, I was thinking, you're the queen of England. You could just beheaded her for some stupid crap. What'd you need to push her down the stairs?
Yeah, why'd you have to be so elaborate for it? Because you had to physically do it. That's why.
Yeah. She got her little like chambermaid.
But when you get a chance, the Murdaugh case.
Ken loves Henry. She loves Anne Boleyn. We used to fight over who was Anne Boleyn. I'm Anne Boleyn.
I love the Tudors. I love the Tudors.
I will watch it over and over. With Connor, when I was pregnant with Connor, I'd watch it a lot. And then after that, like about once a year, I'll watch the Tudors. I just love it. I love it. It's so great. I love that time and the dresses and the outfits. And whether they probably didn't bathe enough doesn't matter because it's on TV. I just know I would have loved to dress up like that because I don't ever got nowhere to go since I work from home. So I live in like different pajama sets.
And I think it's funny because it was kind of racy. The Tudors was kind of racy, but it was, what was it, a Showtime thing or was it?
Yeah, it was Showtime.
Yeah.
Write your question that you'd like to ask Ken, and we'll go ahead and answer it for you.
But I love the Tudors. And King Henry was not that hot. He was hot in the Tudors, but
yeah, that's why I think I really liked it. I was like, wow, look at him. I was like, he's nice.
He was not like that, I can tell you.
I was there. No, I'm just kidding. That's funny.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I love the Tudors though. And then I started watching just like the Elizabeth one. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, I just watch them all. I've been watching. I watched the. It was the cousin of Elizabeth. What was her name now? Mary of Scots. Mary of Scots.
Yes.
I watched that one too. Ken would know. Saying I watched that one too. Queen or Mary of Scots or whatever. And they had gotten, she killed her. But she really did try to kill Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So I get it. But that was a great one too, that episode in that series.
And wasn't Catherine that got her own island and everything? He put her on her own island and
at the very end. That's because she's the only one that didn't fight back.
Right. Yeah.
She was the only one. Oh, you're talking about Queen Catherine, the one that she who died of the heart stuff?
Yeah, because he put her on her own island and
that too.
banished her to the island. And,
I'm thinking Catherine, the very last one he married.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that because he did, she stayed with the family the whole time after that.
Yeah.
She was, but I know which one you're talking about. When he banished her to the thing, so she didn't see her daughter and everything the whole time until she died. Well, you saw it on the episode.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, man, how'd you get off so easy? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you at least, not easy. I mean, she didn't get to see her daughter, but at least she, he left her alone.
Yeah. He let her live.
Yeah.
But, and then Mary, Queen of Scots. There you go. Ken has it. So, and then filing a false report, assisted suicide scheme. What's that about, Ronnie? Sorry, we've been are you talking about Alex? Catherine of Parr. Thank you, Ken. Ken's in England. She knows all that stuff. Catherine of Parr. Yes. Catherine of Parr stayed good friends with the girls and things like that after the death.
Okay.
And then so did, where did she come from? The one who played Joss Stone. Joss Stone played somebody too. Anna Cleves.
Anna Cleves, yeah.
Yeah, she was good friends with, and I think he still loved her after everything, and it happened. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's not what we're talking about on this channel, but it is today. So like, he loved Anna Cleves though.
He did.
You know, after, because they showed even on the tutors, as he got older, he would go visit her and things like that. And so, like, yeah, he liked her a lot after he gave her a chance. Scotland. Thank you, Ken. You're the best. Okay, so Ken wants a card pull. She doesn't have any specific questions.
Okay.
So you want to do a few and I'll do a few?
Yeah. She just a general.
General. But I'm like not January, going into February. I found a new cool thing to do. Have you tried scrying?
I have.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it is.
Great.
This is my.
It really works. Oh, you're doing it in that one? That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it any type of? Is it just a crystal ball?
It is.
I have a crystal ball, but it's not like cool like that looking.
This one, I forgot where I got. I think Witch's Roots. I think I got that from Witch's Roots.
Oh yeah.
Which
I got this one, like I'm sure you got from.
I did. Yep.
I can't even think. Goddess box.
Yeah.
It's selenite with the matching.
Yeah.
All right. So Ken, for you, I have the Three of Swords in reverse, the Hierophant, and one more. So you should have some type of you have the Ace of Pentacles for your main card. So you should have some type of money coming in or some type of fulfillment coming in your earthly energy as far as what you want to do, whether it be with your job, your home, anything like that, even family. It can kind of settle, but it's just kind of letting you know that it's, like, you're going to be offered something soon. So it feels more like it's going to connect to money though. So if there's something that's been bothering you in the sense of like feeling kind of let down emotionally or mentally or anything like that, that energy will flip around soon with the number 3. So that could be like 3 weeks to 3 months. I feel like you're looking more like at a 3-week range when you get the information. It's guided by the Hierophant, so the Hierophant brings that in for you. It is something that's on your path. So also, though, be aware that it will cause some kind of pushback, which most things kind of do. So this is going to benefit you in whatever realm you're working in. So, of course, again, you always have some negativity come in when you're doing something that's good for you. So push it to the side. Don't pay attention to it. It's not important. So, but you, again, you know, your main thing coming out for me is that you have an opportunity that's going to help lift a lot of physical, financial, or mental burdens in that sense. And again, it is guided by your spirit guide. So just stay on that path. Don't let anything throw you off is basically what I'm getting. So that's my mini read for you, Ken. And then here's Timmy's.
I did it for March. I just did a general for March since she did.
So you got February and now March. So 2 months span.
So the first one I got was the 9 of Cups, which is, I got to situate myself. There we go. Family. So 9 of Cups is having every, you know, 10 of Cups is the happy card. So the 9 of Cups is like right before having everything so it's like everything's in place, you know. You're happy, you got things are going how they're supposed to be going. I do feel like maybe a family connection there because Cups does come in like communication, kind of family like that. But it does bring in the 6. I can't get it right. There we go. The 6 of Wands, which is victory. So victory, accomplishment, achievement. You're going to have a good month for March, I think. Because the 6 of Wands is about victory and accomplishment. And here it is again. See, Ken?
The Lovers.
The Lovers. So you got some communication coming in, some emotional, maybe some emotional conversations coming in, so communication, maybe someone that wants to be closer to you, I kind of feel like. Maybe you might not be as receptive at first, but I kind of feel like there might be something along those lines coming in because it is the Lovers.
A big change. Yeah.
could be some kind of change that comes through it. And it may not necessarily be, the love machine coming in, but it might be something,
I'm not coming.
Yeah. Well, like if I'm like, I got a lot of pentacles and like kind of having finally that kind of fulfillment coming in money and connection and rooting, because that's what you're doing. You're rooting and grounded. So that's kind of like the same thing as what you're saying. So because the cups will also attach to that. Obviously, if you're happy in your earthly settings, then your emotional should follow.
Right.
So congratulations, Ken. You have some big thing coming for you in the next 2 months.
Yes, you do. That's
And it will connect to your job and your home. So, and then we want
a good energy reading. That's a good energy reading. Yeah, I feel good energy from that one.
No, Ken said no lovey-dovey stuff. She doesn't like that.
I'm just
you don't have to worry about relationships like that. If anything, it's going to be a good like little night alone with you and your kitties, just watching TV and having some snacks. Right. Yeah, you'll be able to splurge on kitty snacks and Ken snacks.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like a lover's connection like that, like emotional communication, talk, and that kind of thing.
I still don't know what you're talking about. Who got shot in the head? What are y'all talking about? I still am kind of behind on who it is. Filing a false report, assisted suicide scheme. I'm sorry. We've been talking about so many stuff. I'm just a bit confused.
I get lost quick too.
Also, he's a drug dealer. Who are we talking about?
We must have missed something in their conversation.
I think it was who we were talking about before, but we hopped to so many different cases, we lost track.
He's like, yeah, that dummy.
Yeah, it's like they know who it's talking about.
Yeah.
I just lost who we were on. You're very welcome. And thank you.
Murdaugh, yeah. I figured.
Oh, talking about Murdaugh. Yeah.
Yeah, we were shuffling and flipping. We missed the main part of the conversation, Megan.
And how are you doing, Tom, if you're still here? I know Tom actually has been wanting to do a read on Ashley Madrano, I believe it is.
Ashley who?
Madrano. I think she was a wrestler, and I might be saying the last name wrong. I actually did a reading on her, and that's how Tom came across our channel. She was a wrestler, though, and I think she committed suicide. There was a couple of things that he saw where they didn't think so. No, I saw your comment now, Ronnie. We just had talked about a different couple cases since then, so I wasn't sure which case y'all were talking about, but we got you now. So we're on that Murdaugh case with y'all.
No lovey-dovey, Ken. I'll bring some
up. Out.
Chief Wisdom. He's sending love over to Scotland.
Doesn't want your doves. Any symbols of love she does not want. Take it back home. Yeah, we already talked about it, Chief. It's the Murdaugh case. That's the false report. So that's what she was talking about.
See, Chief is lost too. He's like,
he's like getting milk for the kids and going back and forth.
That's what we miss half the conversation when we're not paying attention.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, it is. So does anybody else want a card pull or anything like that? Like I said, we have 13 in the room. So we want to thank y'all for joining us. Silent watchers and watchers who aren't silent. So if y'all have any questions about cases that y'all are just interested in for us to look into, we'll be happy to just do a quick read on it. If you want a card pull for yourself, we can do that as well. So pretty much whatever you'd like to look at, just let us know. So is there any else? Let's see if there's anything else that we can talk about case-wise. I totally forgot. Well, I don't want to say I forgot about Gannon. I just forgot about Teabag. I threw that to the back.
Right. Yeah.
Well, because it was, I guess I said I saw some stuff where she was getting, going into court or causing problems. And then after that, I was moving a lot then and doing stuff at the time.
I think the thing about her is at some point, how many times, for me, sometimes it's like they care, not that they care more about, but it seems like the person that gets put in jail or prison, however you want it seems like they have more rights than the victim, because it seems like they do more.
They're still alive.
yeah, they do more for them to make sure they get, the right.
You know what I think that is sometimes, and that could be wrong. Like, I think because they can possibly have mistrials or things against them if they don't treat them right. You know what I mean? They can come back and say, well, they were like deprived of food or mental help or all this stupid crap that's not true. Because they're like probably mental to begin with, so they're lucky that they're anywhere. Like,
yeah.
And so I'm just saying, like, but I think that's what it is sometimes. It's more like to secure a verdict too,
right.
or like a charge or whatever you want to call it. I think that's probably why that happens. But still, from the outside, it looks very like cold, maybe, I guess.
It does, yeah. And I know one time she fell out of her bunk, so she didn't want to. She didn't want to come to court. So she told the judge, "I didn't sleep good and I fell out of my bunk, so I'm not coming." And he's like, "Yes, you are." So he made her come to court.
I wonder why she keeps trying to avoid it. I guess to not move it along.
I guess she wants them to think she's just batshit crazy and that she didn't know what she was doing. But
I don't think she would still be playing that after this long.
No, she's not crazy. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. So the Murdaugh case starts in 2 days on Monday. So, well, Mondays. I was like, what day is it here? I forgot. Yeah, so 2 days, correct.
The 23rd, is that when it starts?
January? Yeah, the 23rd. Okay. So we'll look into more of it then. I said I hadn't heard of it, so that'll be pretty interesting to look into.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you start in that rabbit hole. Because there's things that happen like in the past that they think he helped cover up. Like the son was on a boating trip with some friends and the girlfriend got killed. She got thrown out of the boat or something. Anyway, it was an accident.
Yeah. I wish I could remember that one case. It had was it Natalie something? She went off the boat with a bunch of actors a long time ago. Wood. I did that case. They all knew.
Oh yeah, he did.
They all knew. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what was about that case. Like, yeah, that's pretty sad too. So that's what that reminded me of when you brought that up just now. That popped into my head that it was on purpose.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And boy, he's just had a great career.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, they always get away with crap. So, and she's saying as far as teabag, so she cannot face it all. She's ignoring it, hoping it goes away. That's actually a good kind of way to look at it. I didn't really think of it so much of that because I'm like, I guess I'm thinking like once you're in jail, how could you think it's going to go away? It's not
right.
You're in jail. So, yeah. She had a fear of water and could not swim. That's why I don't think that she got that close. Like, I don't feel like she just ended up in there by accident.
Yeah. I don't think she actually liked going out on it, to be honest.
Well, and like Ken said, she was scared of water. Why even go onto it? I mean, most people won't even step onto a boat if they're scared of water like that. Like, I love
most
cruises. Like, I mean, I go on cruises a lot. And then, not lately because of COVID. Yeah. But when they were still going on there, I mean, I went on cruises a lot. I loved them. And I would, I very much like the water. So I like sitting on the very edge type thing and like being right on it where most people would be like, that's a little bit freaky. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be that close. Right. But I mean, I still like secure myself, make sure that, that's not going to happen. But if I was scared of water, there's no fucking way I'm going to sit on the edge of a dock or, you know what I mean? Like, again, like, I don't know too many people who go on cruises who are scared of water, but that's what I'm saying. Like they usually won't go onto a boat.
Right. So, yeah. Yeah. I actually don't think she wanted to go. That's how I felt about it.
She did not attempt to get into a small boat. So how do you, like, what's your theory if you have one, Ken, on maybe how they got her onto the boat? Do you think that, because I'm curious of that. I know I wouldn't go onto a boat if I was scared of water.
I wouldn't, no.
Not especially going out to open water.
Unless, I don't know if he took her.
Well, you'd have to be promised something. What did he promise? He pushed her overboard. The case was supposed to be reopened. If they don't hurry up, he will be dead.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he's just kind of old. He is kind of old, Ken.
Honestly, I don't even remember him. Who's him, to be honest? All I remember is her.
Robert Wagner.
It was Robert Wagner, but there was another guy who's a friend. What was his name?
He's the captain of the.
But there
yacht.
was another actor. Christian.
Oh.
Christian. Is his name Christian?
Uh,
That's who I remember, but I know that
Brandon?
wasn't her boyfriend. Wagner? Was it Wagner? He's been in a bunch of movies with like Adam Sandler and people like that. I just can't think of his name.
Is it Brando? What's his name?
Hold on, I'm gonna Google it real quick. Hold on. Just because I can't remember his name. Ken probably. Natalie Wood. All right.
He was also the same. Wasn't he the same one that had dated?
Okay, so here's Robert Wagner. So that's the main dude.
Yeah, that's Robert Wagner.
And then his friend that was on it. Let's see. He's been in so many movies. I can't believe it. Chris. It is Chris. Chris. People. I'm just gonna put people on the boat. Like maybe it'll tell me. But he does a lot of stuff. I've seen him do stuff with. There it is. Christopher Walken. That's who it is.
Oh, okay.
And that's who I usually. And again, I don't think he. He just happened to be his friend that was there. But I think he knows too.
Yeah, of course he does.
So yeah, so that would be Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's who I keep thinking of because I've watched him in so much stuff, so it pops out.
Yeah, I think he thought him and Natalie had something going, but she didn't. I don't think that they did. But
no, I don't think so. It doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel connected to that so much. But again, you never know. I guess
she could swim, to be honest. I don't think she knew how to swim.
No, that's what Ken said. She didn't know how to swim, but she was scared of water too.
Yeah.
And that's obviously her. I think that's the picture.
I know, she's beautiful.
Her. Yeah, super beautiful. So
and the thing was, they were divorced once, I think, and then remarried, or she was gonna divorce him.
Yeah.
Well,
and then Ken said they got, and I kind of remember this now that she says it. They had a big argument, and people said that, I believe, on the boat. But they said he went to his room.
Even the captain of the yacht said that.
Chris stated he went to his room. Yeah, Christopher Walken, but I don't think he did. I think he still heard it. Even just say he's in his room, he still heard it. So either way, like Ken said, I think he said me going to my room wasn't out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris claimed he didn't know what happened. Yeah. But he
probably had been drinking too. So.
So let's see.
Why are you going
I
now?
can't think of too many other ones off the top of my head right now.
She's just.
Oh, Kirstie Alley was so sad. I loved Kirstie. I've been watching Cheers all week. Yeah. I mean, actually all month probably until I finally got to her episode, and I'm like, oh man, she was so great. Kirstie Alley was great. I loved her.
She struggled, bless her heart, with her weight, and she lost all of that weight.
And that's what I told Chris, because I loved Look Who's Talking, and then all the versions of it. That's where I first saw her, obviously, as being little. And so I told him, I said, and they even have. I showed him last night. I said, that's what I told him. I said, I know she used to struggle with her weight a lot, and then they have a series that she did, and it was like basically like overweight, like was the name of it. Yeah, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, so I'm gonna look at it real quick.
I never watched it, but I knew she had one.
So they had a series that she was in that was called Fat Actress, and I was like,
that's right.
But yeah, my mom always said that she struggled with her weight a lot. She was very pretty, but I mean, I liked her, a lot.
I did too.
So that was sad. And then Lisa Marie Presley.
Yeah, what do you think about her?
Elvis now people would say Elvis had heart problems because of the things he did, but I think it still kind of borderline lays down to you probably had a little bit of it before too.
Right. Yeah. I feel like she had heart issues. I don't think it's anything like somebody went in and did something to her.
Yeah, people are saying it sounds fishy. I don't think it sounds fishy. She had heart problems. I mean, you could see from the days leading up to it, she looked and now when you have heart problems, I know like you'll have bags and things, like there's things that change. I take heart medicine now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not, you physically can show it. Sometimes you don't feel well, and you can tell she didn't feel well, so that was kind of leading up to that.
I think part of it was just her not taking care of herself like she should have.
Well, then her son died. Her son had committed suicide, and I think because her other children were older, it was like, and she only had the one son, to my knowledge. I don't think she had any other sons. So that's what it, of course, kind of like Anna Nicole Smith.
Mm-hmm.
She had just had that baby, and you would think that would have helped, but it was like she had, what was his name, Daniel? She had Daniel since she was like 16 to 18 or something. I don't remember exactly what age she was when she had him, but like, I'm not shocked that she couldn't get over it. I mean, you would hope that you could, especially with the new baby and things like that, but that probably made it harder. I said, I don't know. I don't know what looking at a new baby versus losing your baby in the same, hospital room. You're not even out of the hospital yet. So
you can die of a broken heart. I mean, it's not.
I think you can. Well, they say it. Speaking of how you were saying, Catherine from, that was sent off, and I think it was Catherine of Aragon, I believe. Yeah. But for the tutors, they said that she had like deterioration in her heart. So I think she died of a broken heart. To the day she died, she was like, "That's my husband. That's my husband. Like, you're not going to take it away from me. That's my husband." You know what I mean? Like, fuck you, Anne Boleyn. That's my husband.
Right.
So. I don't know.
I think with Lisa, even if she knew, and I say it like this, not because I don't want to say she never took care of herself, but I think once you suffer like that, a heartbreak like that, and then you go to the doctor and they say, okay, well, you need to take this medicine and this medicine, this medicine. It's almost like,
I
mean, so I think maybe she could have prevented it from happening. Maybe if she had done more for herself, like take care of herself. But I really don't think it was I think her heart was broken.
Well, and then Ken says too, they were, of course she was using some things to probably cope with what happened. So it probably, like she said, weakened the heart.
Right.
Because like I said, if she was that, she really seemed to like not be able to handle it. So she probably was, again, taking, downers during the day. So she wasn't thinking about too much, or uppers or whatever it would be. I don't know, to counteract the day feelings and the night. But I also saw on one thing, during actually the Johnny Depp trial, they brought it up. One of the people who came and said on the stand, if you're using any of those in conjunction to get through the day, it's probably not the best thing, because it is
your body,
like Ken said, counteract, but again, being in that situation, you wouldn't know what to do. So I'm not like judging it. I'm just saying that could have contributed without her knowledge, or she was just so hurt,
Right. Yep. And never losing a child, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and that's what Ken's saying, like we were saying, she's past that point of caring because she just misses her son, which makes sense in the sense of it. Coming from a parent, I wouldn't even know what I would do. So I have no clue.
Bless her heart.
I'm just happy. As long as she's with her son and she's good, then you don't want to say you're happy for them, but at least she has her son right now. So, and her dad. Yeah. So,
well, you're born into that stressful life to begin with. Of course she was.
Yeah, she did pretty well for it.
Yeah.
The most shit or backlash she got was the marriage to Michael Jackson. But
you know what?
No, there's been a lot weirder shit happening in Hollywood than that. So, not like way more weird stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But that was unexpected and quick.
Yeah.
And then I can't think of anybody else too much off the top of my head right now recently. But do you have anything else that you want to chat about case-wise, or does anybody else before we sign out have any questions or anything y'all want to ask before we sign out?
Yes, Ken. She usually makes her place up here in front of me and stays.
Oh, yeah, she's so cute. She was like earlier, she was looking straight in the camera. She was just like, aren't I adorable? And I'm like, yes, you are.
Yeah, she'll come up here and sit with me off and on. She's just I don't know. She's just in a mood today for some reason. I
How
think it
old
was
is she now?
3.
Is she? She still looks like a little kitty, kind of.
Yeah, she's always been small,
Tiny.
but when I got her, when she walked out of the cornfield, she was like this. I mean, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to feed her because I didn't think she could eat. That's how little she looked. I thought she was too
she's
young to be.
cute. She's tiny, cute little thing.
So we
she walked right out the cornfield, huh?
Yep. On Christmas Day, here she come, that little bitty tiny thing. And so I brought her and put her in here, and it was warm, and because I got dogs in the house and a parrot.
I know. I've been trying to get try to transition like them back in and out, but they're just not having it. Like the cats will slap the dog, and I'm like, this isn't like stop hitting the dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like Rex, he's quick. Like I'll even like put him, on the other side of the door, and I'm like letting them sniff each other, and all of a sudden a cat paw just comes out and smacks the dog, and I'm like, this is why. Like I can't let y'all be around each other.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, I want to thank you all too. And then, we'll probably do a live again pretty soon when things kind of like start moving in different cases, things like that. We'll start picking it up and we'll do more of that. But thank you all for joining us. Oh, yes, and a little kitty too.
Are you going to say bye, Tinsel?
Don't forget me.
Want to say bye?
Bye.
You might find
Sabbath to just rub you.
Yeah. Yes, thank everybody for joining us today. Seeing Ken and Tara and Chief back in there. And are you saying goodbye too? Say goodbye.
She says Ronnie says she's the 1 hour alarm.
Yeah, the 1 hour alarm.
Yeah. So it's time to go, Mom. Let's cuddle.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah. But we'll see y'all again soon. Like I said, we'll set something up. We'll let y'all know. And probably let's just say about a couple weeks to a month now. We'll just kind of look at it from there. And if anything comes up sooner, we will hop on together and we will check it out with y'all. So thank you again for joining us. And if you want to say goodbye with the kitty.
Yes, I do. I was going to just say Ronnie's right because she's in my lives and she knows that Tinsel makes her visits known. Yes, I know. So say thank you. Say thank you, Megan, for having us.
Of course. Anytime. Thank you for joining me.
Say we'll do it again. It was fun. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, y'all have a great rest of y'all's afternoon, and then we will see y'all soon. So don't forget to subscribe to the Looking Glass Tarot. There's a lot of nice readings coming out, and then she does live chats with readings when she's able to, usually on the weekends, I believe, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, hop over, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that, so you don't miss anything. So it was lovely talking to you and the kitty and everyone else in chat, and y'all have a great afternoon.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye. Wait, one more.